Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to see everybody again after the break that we had. And so it shouldn't be a very long meeting, but why don't we go ahead and get the meeting started. Today is February 20th, 1924. So why don't we Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do attendance. I need this book here to park it in here. Okay, Kathy will wait. She'll probably show up, I'm hoping. Carmela?
Here.
Cheryl? No. Okay. Not absent. I'll put absent for now. Charlie?
Yep.
Nita?
Here.
Evelyn?
Here.
And,
Norma.
yeah, I'll put you down now. I want to introduce Norma
Formianic.
Foreman. She, Cheryl Layden has resigned, and so I will be continuing to be the co-chairman of the Council on Aging for now, and but we have Norma here who has agreed to join the club. You know, and so she's in the middle of filling out the application and all that stuff, and but she's here. I just wanted to introduce her to everybody, and that we'll remain to stay on a full committee at this point, and I'm glad to know that we need somebody younger.
Yes, welcome, Norma. Thank you.
Right. And our meetings, we went into it, well, the meetings usually last from 30 to 60 minutes, depending on what we're covering, okay?
And it's always the third Tuesday of the month, right?
Third Tuesday of the month, and it's at 3:30 in this room. We don't have meetings in June or July. I'll be giving you in there's the list of the dates that we're having meetings, and June and July, and then December and January we don't have meetings. Okay. Did everybody get a copy of the minutes from November's meeting?
Is that what these are?
Yes, that's it. I didn't know who got what, so I think if you can just quickly review them to see if there's any changes that need to be made. And this is you always get a copy of the full
Yeah,
minutes.
Debbie given me a copy when she asked me if I was interested. So,
Oh, okay, yeah. Anita, can you take me?
Yes. Yeah. Very good.
Okay, did anybody have any changes that needed to be made or anything?
Seems fine for me.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to approve them?
I make motion to approve the minutes from November.
I'll second it.
And who seconded it? Charlie, thank you. Okay. Okay, let me go to the old business. For Christmas, there wasn't that much for old business that doesn't roll over to this month, but we did collect some gift cards that we gave to Steve Rogerson, and for the homebound, not the homebound, for the vets, and he was very appreciative of that, and he was going to give it out to some of the vets that he came to him that he felt needed him some assistance. And the card, what we do is every Christmas we get if you want, you can donate a card, but we try to get it where it's not like a liquor store or something like that. They would have to use it.
I had given some.
Yeah. And there is something that I wanted Debbie to talk to about. I don't know whether she mentioned something about, because I don't know the full thing about Charlie and Carmela were talking about some fundraiser you were going to talk about.
Yeah, they said that we can't do it.
Okay, they did tell you that we can't do it because of, I'm not too sure, I can't explain it, it's kind of...
Yeah, no, I understand what they said.
Yeah, well, why don't you say something, kind of give a
well-
general, just that, I can't get it all, that you have to have a special card or permit to do it.
Oh, that's something they suggested, that people independent of the board create what they call a 510, what's the word on?
It's a friends group.
Friends group.
Yep.
And they can collect.
But members can't.
Yeah, but it can't be any of us on the council, because we're just, it's a conflict of interest according to the government regulations.
Yeah.
But they did say that the Friends group could be somebody, that comes to the events all the time downstairs that might be willing to do, we could help them with it.
Right, oh, you're right. But that was the reason why. I don't know if you were here, Evelyn?
I was here, but I thought it was going.
Yeah, well, no, that we did, but then Debbie found out later that it wasn't able to be done, but the way we had, was being set up.
What's the number of the form you mentioned? Was it a 501?
Oh, the I think it's a 510.
Yeah,
510.
yeah. Okay, and, okay, well, I didn't know exactly the whole information, that's why I didn't want to come out and say anything, because I would mess it up, that's for sure. But, okay, and this is only going to be a general review. Of course, the monthly birthday parties are still the first Thursday of every month, and anybody is welcome to come. The only thing is, if they want to come and they want to have a meal, they must RSVP, so we have enough meals. And if you're only going to come for the cake and ice cream, you don't have to. You can just show up. Okay, but also you can also bring your own lunch if you want to come and eat your own lunch instead of eating the lunch that Tri-Valley supplies. And that is always the first Thursday of the month. And what we do recommend that if anybody is a regular person that comes to the senior center meals, that they let us know so we can make a list. We know how many we have a list of every month whose birthday is that month. We don't want to miss out on giving in some, cake and ice cream for them. And we also have the brown bag lunch, and that is usually the first Wednesday of every month, and that was the 13th. That's corned beef or chicken. It's $3 for the meal this month, and that varies because that is not through Tri-Valley, and so that depends how much they know that the food is going to cost. So it at least covers the food. They don't make anything on it, but just enough to cover the food. And Memory Cafe is on March 21st. And that's always the third Thursday of the month. And this is why I wanted Debbie to be here, because she knew the name of the group that's going to be here on that month. That Memory Cafe, they played the Irish music on that one.
Irish?
So, yeah.
That'll be good.
But she was trying to remember what the name was. It was kind of a different tiki something or other, and so but we'll have to see what happens when it back.
Do they know what the meal's gonna be that time?
No,
Did you say beef stew one time? But I don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
know.
I know, we've made so many meals this past 2
I
months.
know.
And it's almost every time we turn around, we're making a meal. We had meatloaf last
Last
month,
week.
you know? And that was, that was just not not even a special, that wasn't even ground lunch or anything like that. Yeah. The monthly restaurant visit is the second Wednesday of the month. And that's going to, they'll be going, in March, I don't know where it is. This month they're going to the Lake Pizza and Restaurant in Webster here. Going to that one. Did
That's
they?
the one that's going for March. We went to
Oh, okay.
Golden Greek,
the Golden Greek down in, was it Dayville or I forget.
Connecticut, yeah.
Dayville.
Connecticut.
March is going to be the Lake Pizza then?
Yeah. And the potluck is on the fourth Thursday, and they have not determined the menu yet. And, because that's with another group of people that are presenting that. So it all depends on what they're going to decide is going to be the food, is what they're gonna charge for that meal. And that's only to cover the expenses, that's all. And they keep it down to just minimum, bare minimum. Okay. And that's all I had down, because I was hoping that we could come up with something we could do. I know that we had mentioned something about possibly doing some day trips, yeah, but nothing has been made for that. And
Bus transportation seems to be an issue.
that
for the
is, it
cost
is
of
very
it.
expensive, yeah. And like I know Steve was talking about the vet monument, the museum, and they can't afford that, and we can't afford it, for the senior center. And seniors can't do it. They're on a very restricted income. So the only way we could do it is by having private transportation, like somebody would take 2 or 3 people in their car. But that's the only way we could make it. And, does anybody else have anything that they'd like to bring up, Evelyn?
The Washington trip is no longer going to be offered. I had set a deadline, the deadline has to be when the final payment is coming up that next week.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the required number of people, and the person I called at Diamond took the notation, and I said, I'll be notifying the people Saturday if I don't get the 5 more people we need. Well, at the time, we didn't get the people, so I canceled it, but on Monday, I got a phone call from a gal who'd been out of the office and was more in charge. And she
Yeah.
said, if you were only 5 people short, we could have made it work. We would have played with the numbers and
Yeah.
it would have worked out. But it was too late
Yeah.
because everything had been canceled at that point. But I will remember, and my sister worked, well, she was in here in I think the late 80s till we had that town manager that was replaced, and they had quit. Betty Ann and Audrey were
Mhm.
doing it, and she was doing the trips then. Never had they said, if you're close to the minimum, we'll take it. This time, she told me, and I said, well, I will remember that,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't get paid for doing the trips, but if I get the number that they need,
Yeah.
my trip is free.
Right, okay.
I just have to buy the meals like everybody who's paying has to
Right,
pay.
right.
But I said, I didn't care. We really wanted to do the Washington trip and wanted to go. Well, that next week, by the end of the week, we had like 6 more people that wanted to go. But it was too late. We have to, by the time the final payment comes in, we have to know who's going. That's why we have the $75 deposit that I don't cash until we know it's.
That you're having the
It's a
trip,
go.
right.
So the trip we have now is Lancaster Show trip in Dutch Country, and we're going to Longwood Gardens. And a lot of the area garden clubs are interested in this, so they're signing up already.
Is that here in Massachusetts?
No, in
That's
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, okay.
Pennsylvania. So that is looking good, and I would request that when anything is put in the paper, that it doesn't have to be a big blurb. If it just says Lancaster Show Trip, Dutch Country, Longwood Gardens, $810, September 9th to the 13th, people will know about it, and
Mhm.
hopefully we won't have to be waiting till last minute but we already have, like 15 people already, and more are saying they're sending the deposit. I don't count them until I get the $75 per person deposit.
Right.
But more are coming on that, so I'm sure that one's going to
That
be a
will go
go,
through.
especially if we only need the fewer number of people. But, yeah, it would be good. I advertise on Facebook in the different groups, Webster, Dudley, Oxford, Thompson, Pomfret, Charlton, Sturbridge, Southbridge, and it's getting out there. Diamond Tours also does, they have a page where if anybody's looking to go on a trip, they can look and then be referred. We had a couple of people actually use that to come, but, yeah, I think it'll be a nice trip, and, we have several shows involved in that. so
That's good.
I'm hoping
Well,
that's-
I can understand because our church, Father Daniel, has this trip going to Italy.
Yes,
It was $5,000 for the trip, and it's 13 days,
yeah.
going to everything.
Yeah, see, these, actually, if you think about the day trips, I was looking at the booklet that Webster had put out, it's very expensive. Like, this is 5 days, 4 nights, you stay in top quality, overnight accommodations, and they have wonderful meals. It's really the cheapest way to go, and you're getting you're not going to foreign countries, but you're seeing this country,
Yeah.
and the trips are marvelous.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm gonna do all the work for something, all the paperwork, and get the meals planned for everybody, and I don't mind doing the work and paying to go, you know it's a good trip.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I tend to be tight, and we all have to watch our money these days.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But this is
I
what,
would-
but the one like at the church, they have people who showed up, who called like 2 days later. After, they found out that there was only, I don't know, I can't remember exactly how many days, but it had so many days in which to sign up for this trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I always.
They had so many people that had called later, and they couldn't get on the trip because they were limited. Apparently, it's not just like for our group, but it was that in Italy, only the company running it only has so many people that can go. And when they say there's a deadline, there's a deadline.
Yeah, the deadline for this one will be the beginning of July, even though the trip isn't until September 9th.
Right.
But they have to make the accommodations and all the
Right,
meal
right.
planning, so, but I think it'll
That
be a
book
good
you
trip.
mentioned that you looked at for day trips at Webster, is that the Webster Senior Center?
The Webster Senior Center had a booklet, and they only, from what I could tell from it, they only worked with one company, but I found it very expensive, and I don't
And
know.
Do you remember, like, what kind of day trips were they, like,
Oh,
shopping?
they would go to like Maine for a lobster meal and
Okay.
come back, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Or Martha's Vineyard or something
Okay.
like that, but,
Is it because of transportation, having a bus that they have to hire?
well,
Because that's very
I
expensive.
think they're making money, I can't see how they're not making money for it.
Yeah.
On these trips, it pays Diamond, and I include in the price for the bus driver and any step-on guide tips,
Mhm.
but nothing else. So nothing else, you're not nickel and diming people saying,
Yeah.
oh, well, here's something, we just need $10 more. No, there's none of that. If you wanna buy something for a souvenir, that's on you, and the meals that aren't covered, you're expected to take care of, but everything
Mhm.
on the trip is.
Yeah.
Do you have a poster or something we could put on the board downstairs?
I have one on the board downstairs.
Oh, there is, okay.
I put some papers in the senior center, I haven't checked to see if anybody has taken them, but I think I think we're more likely to get people not coming. It seems like people are interested in cards, they're interested in the meal, and I haven't, which is unusual, because when we did this, even after my sister passed and I took over, we had people coming from all over. Of course, the Webster Times had a column for trips that organizations put, and that may have had something, because they have a lot of other publications that they use. So that advertising might have been a help, but COVID really
Yeah.
it killed trips for everyone.
Oh, yes.
I know Tri-Valley has a man, well, had one from Charlton, he resigned because of illness, but a fellow from Southbridge who's very involved, and he just stopped everything. He just stopped everything. So
Yeah.
hopefully I'm encouraged by the Washington trip, even though it could have been a go and wasn't. I mean, I was like in tears.
Have you ever seen outside of, maybe since so many people afterwards tried to sign up, maybe you should try another trip to Washington?
Well, they want it. They want another one to go, because this trip in particular, it just included every site you'd want to see, and the Museum of the Bible I wanted to see, because I've seen most of the sites, but I wanted to see that particularly, and a few other things. Just it's just nice to go. The Vietnam Wall, it's just so moving to go there, and a lot of the war, museums and monuments, and just, I felt sad.
Yeah,
but
that's so.
We'll try again.
Does anybody else have anything else they might want to bring up, a topic or anything of interest? Okay, well, that's it. Our next meeting will be on March 19th at 3:30, and hopefully we'll figure out something more interesting. Like maybe it'll get to the nicer weather, so maybe we could. I know that Debbie is interested in doing more things here. And she had talked about maybe a trip or two, but we've really been so busy that we haven't, but hopefully within the next month we can start working on something. And we still need to find out what we're gonna do if we don't have benches or tables anymore.
We don't. They're gone. Yeah.
But I'm not too sure what we're doing. We gotta start working on that, because it's, we still have some things out there, and I think we don't want them to go to waste what we have left over. So hopefully within the next month, before our next meeting, we can start thinking about doing something to get the people who come here more involved in wanting to do something other than just coming to eat and then going home.
Was there ever any information about grants that we might be able to get?
Debbie's been trying to. She put in a few more, but that's about it. I know that I don't know, I haven't heard Debbie saying anything. She had put in a couple, and I think a couple of the entertainers we're using for Memory Cafe have been the grant from the Dudley committee.
Yes, the cultural committee. Is a grant something that we could get involved in writing for the seniors?
I don't
Or
think,
does that need to be done by somebody in the town?
Debbie's looking into that and trying that, yeah.
I was just wondering if there's like a town person that you have to go through that does that.
No.
Or if it's individual, we could actually write something up.
No, I think as long as you find out, as far as I'm
I thought we
concerned, as
did
long as
have
you
a
know there's a
grant
grant that
person.
you can put in for it.
Yeah, I thought we did have a grant person now.
I never knew of one.
All right, I'll find out. I'll
Well,
find
Debbie
out.
will know too. She'll know. She's that, because I don't do that anymore. She's been trying different things to try to get more for the senior center. And I know she's got work planning on trying to fix the cooking area downstairs. Changing the sink and the counters and things like that, painting it downstairs. And she's put in for a grant for that. And I don't know, she hasn't heard from about that yet.
Yeah, the stove.
Hmm?
In the stove too, to be looked at. The oven.
Yeah, the oven is not, doesn't work well. You can't cook anything.
Calibration must be off, maybe.
Hmm?
The calibration, is it a
Yeah, I
gas
know, and the
stove?
thing is, we don't know the company that it was bought from, because it was donated to us. It was new, it was brand new.
I think anybody who works on appliances can calibrate.
I know, but that's
you know.
not the point. The point is they're trying to get it, still has to be under warranty, so they want to try to find out who it might have been.
Oh, okay.
So we
How
know
old
it's,
is it?
Is that new then?
yeah.
Yeah, because Brian remembered, it's not that old.
It was just before Margaret left that we got it.
Yeah, it's just the oven temp.
Yeah, I think usually warranties are at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the reason why
But-
they don't want to hire somebody to do it. And Brian can't do it. She's not, able to. So.
Our maintenance guy doesn't.
Not really, you got, it's gas and he wants to
Oh,
make sure it's covered, if it's covered under warranty, it needs to be done under warranty. Because then after that, if there's a problem, you're stuck with it if you've had somebody else work on
I
it.
know how to calibrate, but I haven't done a gas stove, so
No,
I can't volunteer for that one.
I've never dealt with a gas stove.
Yeah.
So it's that down there. Yeah, but, if that's about it then, if anybody wants to, put a motion to end the meeting, resolve the meeting,
Motion for
Motion,
the
yeah.
meeting to adjourn.
and second, and everyone, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, resolve, okay.